Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're getting a little bit cultured, heading over to Italy and making some pesto orzo with chicken and tomatoes. Now, orzo is a great addition to your backcountry pantry because it is small pieces of pasta that cook really, really quickly. But just be careful if you do ask for orzo if you're in Italy, because the literal translation of orzo means barley. So you might get a plate full of barley instead of the orzo that you're thinking. But orzo is just little rice-shaped pasta, so that's why it cooks so quickly in your pot when you're out backpacking. And what I love about this recipe is that pesto flavor mixed with the chicken and tomatoes give you this fresh, nice tasting meal that doesn't feel like it's been freeze-dried or sitting out, and it's done in under 10 minutes, which is gonna be quicker than any freeze-dried meal that you'll get out there. So anyways, let's get started. What you're gonna need is about half a cup of orzo, and this is a single serve meal. If you get really hungry or if you're cooking to 2, just double it, and just remember that your water ratio for this recipe is gonna be a 1 to 2. So 1 part's pasta and 1 part's mix to 2 parts water. So half a cup of orzo. You're gonna need 2 to 4 tablespoons of dried chicken, just depending on how much protein you wanna add in there. But if you do add more dried chicken, you are also gonna be adding a little bit more water, which can be added later on, not right away, so you don't have a watery pesto. You're gonna wanna get some either sun-dried tomatoes or dried tomatoes, which you can find at your local grocery store or order online. And you're gonna wanna add about 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper. For me personally, I love black pepper, so I'm gonna add 1/4 teaspoon in my bag mix that I'm making. And then you're gonna wanna pick up a pesto sauce mix and add a single serve portion of this to this mix. For this particular pesto mix that I have here, it's about 2 tablespoons of that pesto mix. The secret ingredient that we're going to add in today is gonna be this feta cheese powder. And so this is really that secret ingredient that gives it that creamy, salty, just delicious flavor where you're wondering, what is that in this mix? So it is gonna be that feta cheese powder. And then we're gonna top it off with a little bit of olive oil. So if you bring these little packets in the backcountry, that's great. Otherwise, I know a lot of people do bring a little bottle as well. So we're gonna top it off with a little bit of olive oil. Anyways, let's get started. So I've got all my stuff pre-measured into this snack size Ziploc bagging, which you can see here, way smaller than any freeze-dried meal. And we're gonna add 1 full cup of water. And again, depending on your elevation, it's gonna absorb water a little bit more quickly, it's gonna boil more quickly. So start with, if you're doing the half cup single serve, that 1 cup or 8 ounces, or about 240 milliliters of water to start with, and you can always add a little bit water later on if it looks a little dry and not creamy enough. And I have a regulated stove here because we are going to want to be able to simmer this product as well. And what's really easy about this recipe is that even while the water is boiling, there is nothing else to do. All we're gonna do is dump this mix into the pot, let it simmer for a couple minutes, cover it up, and then check it on a little bit later. So super easy. All right, that took about 2 minutes. We're gonna turn the heat down to a simmer and dump our mix in, making sure we don't have a little splash fest here. Get all that goodness out, give it a good stir. Okay. And put a cover on it to save the heat. Let it simmer for about 3 to 4 minutes before you go and check on it. All right, so it's been about 3 minutes, so we're gonna shut the heat off. Uncover our pot. Give it a good stir and see how it's cooking. Making sure to scrape the bottom of our pot to get all that good stuff off. You can see those bright red tomatoes and that chicken rehydrating in here. All right, so that, as far as consistency of the sauce, is looking fabulous. And we are gonna add our olive oil at this point in time. And if you don't know how much to add, use a tablespoon or a full packet. I'm just gonna kind of drizzle mine in here. This actually helps clean up the pan as well because of that oil. All right, so that's looking pretty good and getting incorporated. And you're gonna wanna put the cover back on, and again, let it sit so the pasta can absorb and cook all that water as well. So we're gonna wait another 3 minutes and check on it in a little bit. All right, it's been about another 3 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and check on this. Which again, this has taken no more time than if you would have had a freeze-dried meal. Oh man, that looks so good. It's gonna be piping hot. And this also does work as a cold soak meal as well. It did take about 8-ish hours for everything to become incorporated, but eventually got there. I do prefer it as a hot meal, or hot then lukewarm later on, but you can cold soak this meal as well. All right, let's take a look at that. You can see those nice bright red tomatoes, those pieces of chicken as well, and that tasty pesto sauce. All right, let's hope we don't burn our mouths with this. Just that little touch of olive oil makes it so good. Delicious, so bright, so fresh. You definitely won't have any worries about cleaning up your pot after this. You'll want to eat every single ounce of it. So good. Well, that's it. If you guys enjoyed the contents of this video, found it at least a little bit helpful, please give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so already. I talk all about hiking, camping, and backpacking, and your outdoor life adventures with you and your dog. Thanks for watching.